Hey guys, welcome back to another movie review. Previously, I did a movie review of the first two Major League films, Major League One, Major League Two. It was a lot of fun to do. But I just want to switch gears for a second, and I want to talk about basketball movies. The NBA All-Star Game is coming up this weekend, and I wanted to talk about what is generally regarded as the best basketball movie of all time, and arguably one of the best sports movies of all time, and that's Hoosiers from 1986, which stars Gene Hackman, Dennis Hopper, Barbara Hershey, and a cast of unknowns, I would say, for the Hoosiers basketball team. Um, Hoosiers is directed by David Anspaugh, who later would go on to do Rudy, which was another sports movie, and it was written by Angelo Pizzo. It's the story of a small town Indiana high school basketball team that goes on to win the state championship. And that's not really much of a giveaway because it's inspired by a true story of a real small town high school basketball team that did this exact same thing. The focus of the film is Norman Dale, the coach character played by Gene Hackman, and he comes to this small town as the new high school basketball coach. And initially, the town does not really agree with his methodology. They don't agree with his coaching style. Like, he runs practices without shooting. They don't agree with the way he conducts the offense during the game, like 4 passes before a shot. The team doesn't get off to a good start. They have a town meeting where they want to get rid of him, but ultimately, the star basketball player comes to his defense, and this is a Jimmy Chipwood. I forget the actor's name, but he basically hasn't been playing because his father died, and everybody warns Gene Hackman to stay away from this guy. Give him time, he'll come around eventually. Of course, Gene Hackman doesn't listen, talks to the kid anyway. Barbara Hershey's character, the principal of the high school, gets very mad at him. She's very protective of Jimmy because she doesn't want him to wind up as like some burned out high school star many years from now. She sees more potential in him than just basketball. But Jimmy comes around eventually and says, "I do want to play for this coach. The one condition though is that you have to keep him. If you don't keep him, I'm not going to play." Of course, they vote to keep him because they want Jimmy to play. The team goes on a winning streak, and basically what will happen. As in many sports films, you can kind of predict what's going to happen, and what's going to happen. But I think what ultimately makes Hoosiers worthwhile is the fact that first of all, that it was inspired by a true story, and the performances are outstanding across the board. Gene Hackman, Barbara Hershey, Dennis Hopper, who got an Academy Award nomination for his role as Shooter. They're all very good. The basketball sequences are very, very well done. They used while the cast of characters that they used was unknown, or the actors, I should say. They all had real basketball experience. They were many. I think some of them had actually played on their high school or their college team, and that adds. That really adds a lot of credibility, I think, to the story and to the film itself. So those are very good. The musical score is very good. Really, the whole thing is just put together exceptionally well, and I think it deserves its place as one of the finest sports films. The AFI, I think, voted it in the top 5 sports films or most inspirational films, I believe. It was selected for preservation by the Library of Congress in their National Film Archives. It really deserves all the praise that it gets. I think it captures the period very well, captures the sport of basketball very well. And it's even got a really nice. There's a lot of tales of redemption going on with all the characters like Gene Hackman, Barbara Hershey, Dennis Hopper. There's a really nice subplot about that Gene Hackman coming to the aid of the Dennis Hopper character, who's the town drunk, yet who is very knowledgeable about basketball. Hackman seeks out his advice about upcoming teams that they're playing, and when the assistant coach becomes ill, Hackman asks Hopper to step in as the assistant coach and actually sit with him on the sideline during the game under the condition that he stop drinking, he get himself cleaned up, because this is a very small town community in Indiana, and it's very conservative. And Hackman is like, you really have to get your act together and straighten yourself up to make yourself look presentable in front of these fans and in front of your son who's on the team. The character's son is on the team, one of the players on the team. So there's a really nice stories of redemption going on. Hackman has kind of a mysterious background. He says he was in the Navy for a while, and then before that, he was a college coach. But he had basically been thrown out of the college ranks because he hit one of his players. So he has kind of a nice arc relationship with the Barbara Hershey character, this very stern high school principal. I think that she kind of learns to loosen up a little bit. They have a romantic interlude, but it's handled very, very tastefully, very subtly, very gently. It's a very wholesome, heartwarming film. You could very easily show it to your kids, especially if they like basketball. If you're a basketball fan, it's highly recommended. But I don't think you really have to be a basketball fan to appreciate it. It's such a inspirational film, and it's so well done that I really think anybody can really get some enjoyment out of it. So if you're in the mood for basketball film with the NBA All-Star game coming up this weekend, or even if you're in the mood for it, it's good at any time, I would say. Hoosiers is definitely well worth it. That's my review for Hoosiers. Thanks for watching, and take care. Bye-bye.